was an emotional night in Port Crane as members of the Broome County Firefighters Association and the community came together tonight to honor firefighters who lost their lives in the past year. The memorial service took place at the Port Crane Fire Station #1. Family members, friends, and fellow firefighters enjoyed a meal together before the service began. The memorial honored more than 30 firefighters and first responders. A flower was placed on a cross for each life lost.
Well, it's a very noble cause. Most of our honorees turn out to be volunteers, and so we want to keep that, the spirit of volunteering, and also, for those that have participated and now have passed on, it's important to remember them and not forget.
Chaplain Horton says the memorial service is open to the public. It not only is a great way to pay tribute to lives lost, but it also serves as a way to make connections with fellow firefighters. If you're interested in volunteering to make a difference in your community.